All right, so remember last time we talked about our two loops. So we have on start and forever. And on start just means that when the robot turns on or when we run the code, everything in the code will just happen once. And forever means whatever we put in there is just going to keep on repeating itself and happening. So last time we looked at this first block. So we looked at our run large motor, or we actually used a medium motor. And when we put it in on start, that just moved it. So that just moved one motor. So right now we have an EasyBot and we have two motors on there. So if we wanted to make this move forward, what do you guys think we would do to make it move forward?
We would click the drop down and then click the two motors.
So, okay, so this drop down?
Yep, and then click the two motors.
Yeah, so it gives us that option to run those. There's also, there's actually two other options that we can use that might be a little more better. So we could use, if you guys go to motors, we could use steer motors. So it's this option here, this one here. If I drag that out, the first one here on my on start block.
Which one did you say?
So if I press the additional button, it gives us a bunch of different options. And so the difference between the first one and the second one is the first one gives us an option for how we want to turn. So if I click on right here where it says turn ratio, I can move this and it tells me which way I can turn. So if I move it like this, that's the way that the robot's going to turn. So this second block doesn't give us that. So this may be a little bit better to use if you want it to turn.
So let's go a little slower. Let's go a little slower.
I'm sorry?
I think you want to go 90 degrees.
A little slower.
My screen?
No, explanation, a little slower.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, so was everybody able to drag out this block? So the steer motor block?
Say yes.
Yes? No?
Yes.
All right. So if we look at this block, the first option says B plus C, that's the default. Those are just the two ports that we have our motors in. So have you guys already connected your two large motors to the EV3?
Yes.
All right, so I recommend you put them in ports B and C, since that's what we have here for our default settings. So put it in B and C.
Can't we change it to A and
You can, but the default's usually B and C, so you may as well just go ahead and put in B and C. And it's the same with FLL. Most people use their steering motors with B and C. All right, so now if we look on the left, it's showing us a simulation of what's happening. So right here, it's showing motors B and motors C, and they're just spinning. They're just going forever and forever and forever. And we don't have our block in the forever loop, but it's just going forever because we haven't told it how long we want it to go for. So it just assumes that we want to go forever. So the next option here is turn ratio, and that's how we want to turn. So if we wanted to go straight and we just wanted our robot to move straight, we put it on 0. So we just type in 0, or you can move the little bar here. But if we wanted to go straight, we'll just type 0. And then if we wanted to turn left or right, we could just move it and it'll turn. So let's just practice going straight and then let's see if we can turn. So I'm just actually I'm gonna put one rotation here. So this lapse option, I'm just gonna type in 1 for rotation so it doesn't go on forever. And I want you guys to try to download what we have here and see what it does. I'm going to download mine. And remember, you have to move the file that you download and put it into your EV3 drive. And so if you guys saw that on my other screen, the robot just moved forward for 1 rotation. So tell me if you guys were able to get that. No? So what happened, Karthik?
My robot doesn't work, so.
Okay.
Because it's not
Is it showing up on your computer?
Yes.
No?
It worked.
You tried turning it on and off?
It's backwards and it's not forward.
Yeah, I tried that like 2 times.
Instruction forward.
Okay.
It went forward. It worked.
Aid.
No, it
Yep.
worked.
Was it supposed to go backwards?
I don't think it went backwards.
No.
Forward.
So does your robot look like how mine is? Is it facing forward? That might be why.
It went towards the wheels, that side. Is that
Yeah,
front?
so that's the front.
That's what I thought that was the front. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was correct. Yep.
Yeah.
It did. It worked.
So for Nina, you need to update the firmware. You were not here for last class,
I'm
right?
telling you, this is the front.
Last class, so we'll work with you after class today.
Well, I'm
All right, so we're-
following along. I'm
Okay.
following along with all the programming. I just took out the cords on my thing.
Okay, Nina. Then we'll help you update the firmware. Logan, is it moving?
Yes.
How about Kemen? Is it moving, Kemen? Oh, wow. So that's nice. So
Programming it now to do what you asked.
Awesome. Karthik, keep on trying to fix yours. If it still doesn't work, just keep on following along. You can always look at the simulation and see what's happening.
Done with my code.
Okay.
Yeah, you can keep moving.
Awesome. All right, so we just made it move forward, and what do you guys think we would do if we wanted to make it move backwards? So we just made it move forward for 1 rotation. Yeah.
-1 rotation. Or
Make it a what?
-50.
So yeah, it's already 50 right now.
But when you had a negative sign.
Yeah, exactly. So what Karthik said. So if we wanted to make this move backwards instead of forward, we would just turn the speed to -50. So now if we download this, and I'm going to download mine, it's going to move backwards for 1 rotation.
Got it moving forward and backward.
Awesome. Yep, I'm just going to drop mine in my EV3 drive. All right. Did everybody see that?
Yeah, success.
Awesome.
This.
So now we can also turn our robot. So we could make it move. We just made it move forward and we made it move backwards. Now we can make it turn left or turn right at different angles. So where it says turn ratio, we can slide this and we can slide it left or right and it's going to turn. And so I want you guys to pay attention on how it does this turn. So I'm just going to try a random, let's try -45. So I'm going to type in -45 right here where it says turn ratio. And then I'm going to download that and let's see what it does.
You still want it to go backwards at -50?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you can change it to 50. Yeah, so we'll keep our speed 50 so it's going forward. All right, so tell me what you guys get. So did everybody's robot turn?
Yes.
Awesome.
Almost.
So it only turned for 1 rotation, so it didn't turn too much.
Right.
I'm sorry? All right, so it turned just a little bit, and that was only because we put it for one rotation. So if we tried like a bigger number, like 2, it'll turn more. And if we got even bigger, it would go in a full circle. So did you guys kind of see how it did that turn? So what it did is to turn left or to turn right, it made this left wheel, it made it not move. So it turned off this left motor, and the right motor, it made it move. So when we turn off the left motor and we keep the right one on, it's gonna turn right. And then if we did that in reverse, if we made the right motor turn off and we made the left motor go on, it would turn right. And the other way would turn left. So there's also another way that we can make the motors turn, or the robot turn. And this is a slightly different way. So I'm gonna take away the block that we have here. So I'm gonna go into the motors tab, and there's an option, it says tank motors. So it's the third block. I'm gonna click on tank motors, and I'm gonna bring that into my start block. So does anybody know what the tank block would do, or what it is?
2 motors, and you can control each motor at the same time.
Yeah, so we just had a on steering block, and that made our 2 motors go forward or left or right or backwards. So this tank option, it does the exact same thing, except it gives you 2 settings for the motors. So it doesn't make them move in a uniform way. So right now, we can change the speed of both our motors. And notice how we don't see the direction setting anymore. We don't see the little ratio thing. So now, right now, we have 2 different speeds. And so these are for our 2 different motors. So this first one is going to be for our first motor on the left, so that first wheel. And then this number is also going to be for the right wheel. So let's try something. Let's try turning the second option to 0. And make sure, I'm going to try to put this for, let's try 2 rotations. And I'm going to download that and play. All right, so did you guys see what happened?
The system seems to think that backward is forward and forward is backward.
I'm sorry?
What?
Yeah, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
The system seems to think that backward is forward and forward is backward.
That might just be the way you have your robot facing. All right, so when I just played that.
Is this the way it's supposed to face, or this?
So the front is supposed to be the side where the wheels are.
Okay, that's new news for me.
Yeah, so where the caster wheel is, the little ball, that's going to be the back. So when I ran that program, it turned right. So it turned right because we turned off one of our motors. We made our speed 0. So we made one of our speeds 0 and we made the other one 50. So one of the motors is not moving and the other is moving. So that way it's going to turn. So let's try something else. Let's make this, instead of 0, let's try negative 50. Minus 50. So we have 50 for the first one and minus 50. So any predictions on what do you guys think is going to happen? If we make one 50 and negative 50?
It's gonna start turning in circles.
So it won't necessarily turn in a full circle. It will turn though. So this will kind of be the same as what we just did. It'll turn. But this time it's using 2 of the motors to turn instead of having just one of the motors move. So both motors are moving, but they're moving in opposite directions. So they're gonna turn. So I'm gonna download that and play. So it turned actually quite a lot. So we can try to turn it down to 1 rotation and see it turn maybe slightly less than it did.
Keep it down. I want to see it. That's cool. Tell me.
It did a whole circle.
Almost.
It did a what?
Three
Three
quarters of a
quarters
circle.
in the circle.
Yeah, it turned
It
a
just
lot.
did a
and that's-
donut. It just did a donut.
Yeah. So it turned a lot now, even though we only kept it at 2 rotations because we're using both motors to turn. So this is a good way of turning, to use the tank motor option. That way you have both motors turning. So both motors are moving, they're just moving in opposite directions. All right. So let's make our motor move forward and turn and then go back. So I'm just gonna take this block out and I'm gonna delete it. And let's make our robot just move forward, backwards, and turn a bunch of ways. So I'm gonna go to the Motors tab, and I'm gonna first go to Steer Motor. And I'm gonna bring that one out. So the 4th option. I'm gonna keep it B and C, because those are our 2 ports. And I'll keep the turn ratio 0, that way it goes forward. And I'll keep the speed 50. And if I press this plus button, I get some more settings. So we'll keep it on for rotations. So we'll keep it on for 1 rotation. All right, so right now it's just gonna go forward for 1 rotation. So let's make it turn. So I'm gonna go back to motors and I'm gonna take out my tank motor block. I'm gonna put it under this. And I'm also gonna press the plus button. And right now it has 50 and 50 for both motors, so 50 speed. So I'm gonna make this first one 50. I'm gonna keep it 50. I'm gonna make the second one, I'm gonna make it negative 50. So what we basically just did. So now it should turn to the right.
It's so awesome.
And our last setting is rotations. So I'll just keep it at, let's try just half a rotation. So I'm gonna type in 0.5. So a really small amount.
That's awesome.
It's 0 dash. It's 0.
So we have 50, negative 50, and 0.5. So we have half. And let's go ahead and download this and see what it does.
What do you mean it's dead? It has no power?
All All right. So were you guys to get that able to get that running? All right. So my robot went forward and it turned right. So were you guys able to get that? Did it move forward and turn right?
Yeah, and then it just kept going.
Yeah.
Oh, it kept
Forever.
going?
Forever and ever.
Did it keep turning or it turned and then went forward?
It kept on going.
Turned and went forward.
Hmm.
It kept on going forever.
So do you only have 2 blocks, or how many blocks do you have?
2 blocks, and we have the on start.
Right. So
Let's see,
on the
still-
second block, do you have the plus or the minus?
Minus.
No, I mean, I think we've got the same as what you've got. 50 minus 50, 0.5 rotations. The top one is 0, 51. Yeah, we have the same.
Hmm. And it just kept on going?
Yeah.
It appeared to
Are you
keep
playing
running.
the right program, maybe?
I'm not sure what you mean. Are we playing the right program?
Is it when you downloaded it? It might be maybe you played a different program.
No, it did the new one. It did the new one.
Okay. Is the second block a tank motor block or a steer motor block?
It's a tank just like yours.
Okay. Hmm. I'm not sure. And you said you have an on start or a forever block.
On start.
I'm not sure. Mine.
We'll try it. We're going to try running it again.
Okay.
It's turning.
Good.
Is it still going on forever?
Yeah, it just wants to keep running.
I'm not sure why that is. Hmm. Try just deleting the blocks that you have and just putting them in again.
Sure.
Hello, I'm back.
Awesome. Is your robot working now? Oh wait, never mind. You haven't done the firmware update.
Yes.
All right. All we've done is we've just created a really small program to make the robot go forward and turn right.
Okay.
All right, so today I wanted us to play with the touch sensor. So we'll try playing with the touch sensor. So were you guys able to get the robot to stop moving forever?
We're trying now.
Okay.
Is it working?
Oh, wait.
How is it for Clement? Did she get it? Clement, did it stop? Okay.
All right, so we're gonna add a touch sensor to our EasyBot here. And if you can look at my other screen, all I'm gonna get is a 7-beam. So a 7-beam like this, and 4 connector pegs, another cable, and our touch sensor. So all I got was a touch sensor, a 7-beam, and 4 black connector pegs.
Actually, it would just go straight and wouldn't turn off this time.
But it turned a bit.
It didn't really turn, it just went straight.
Okay, so do you have this first steer motor block?
I have steer motor, BC, turn ratio 0, speed 50% for 1 rotation, then tank motor, BC, 50 and minus 50 for 0.5 rotations.
Yep. Okay, and it's in the on start?
Yep.
What pieces will we need to attach the touch
All right, so
sensor
just
to
a touch sensor and a 7-beam and 4 connector pegs.
What do we need?
So a touch sensor and then a 7-beam. So if you look at my other screen, I have that, a 7-beam. So it has 7 holes.
Help, I can't do it.
And just four different connector pegs. So first, I'm just going to put 2 of my connector pegs on the right side of my touch sensor. So like this. So just put 2 right there. And then I'll take my 7-beam and I'll just attach that to the 2 connector pegs that I have on my touch sensor. So now I have this. Yep.
Should it look like this?
I think you have yours kind of in the middle. So I just had mine all the way at the edge. So do you see that?
See that?
So
My pegs are wrong.
No. I think the pegs are right.
Yeah, your pegs are right. It's just where you put the 7-beam.
Try holding that up.
Yep, that looks good. Yeah. All right. So now I'm just gonna take my 2 other connector pegs and I'm gonna put it one here at the last slot and then one in one slot in between that. So 2 right here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach that to the EasyBot. I'm gonna attach mine to the left side. So right here, if you look at my other screen, where we have the little angled connector peg thing right here, I'm just gonna push that in like that.
We can't see what you're doing, I guess.
It's on my other screen.
You're sharing your screen still.
Yeah, it's I'm using two different devices. I'm using my phone.
Do you want to do
So
a
you might have
bigger-
to go to the right, I think, and look at my other screen. I have the Easy Bot there.
How do you want multiple pictures? You see everybody's.
Do
Other
a double click
gallery view.
Yeah, try gallery view.
and do a double.
We don't see it anywhere when you're sharing your screen.
Let's see.
Um,
Let's try participants. No, that's not doing it. Let's see.
On the top, you will see like grids together, like 6 grids together, show grid video. So click on that and then click on the other name, the other screen, Aid Musa. If you click on it twice, it will make it bigger.
Right, do you guys see my other screen?
No.
No. You're in gallery view.
No, we can't seem to get that. I don't see where we normally see that. I see kind of a reverse camera. We just see the one of you, of your face. Share content. I don't know if I turn that off. No. Let's see. Participants. I don't believe that's what we want.
So is there like a downward arrow to see like the other people? You might have to.
Yeah, participants. Yeah. We can see participants. Yeah.
So not like just like everybody's screen. So are you only looking at my face right now?
Yes.
That's all okay. So yeah. So
and your screen. We see your screen and then we see your face.
Okay, so at the top where above where you see my face, you see the little blocks. So I think right now you guys have just the one block selected. So it's highlighted blue.
Oh, yeah, blocks where it says blocks.
No, where you're looking
layout.
at my face. So this is with Zoom.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and try clicking on the other two options to the right of that. And it should show you not just my face, but other faces and screens.
Okay, I've equipped EasyBot with the
touch sensor?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had to equip it a bit differently, but it still works.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's pointing in the front.
Could you see the picture and put it?
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, were you guys able to see it?
No, we're not. We're not having
yet.
anything. I don't know why.
All right, so you're only seeing my face right now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so above that, you see there's 4 different sets of blocks. Like right above my face. This is with Zoom, so this is not on my screen, the screen that I'm sharing. This is,
your Zoom picture where your face is, there's a plus on the left, in the top left corner, and there's a minus in the top right corner. Otherwise, that's it on your picture.
Is there anything like around?
Okay, sorry, I hit plus, and now we have more people. Okay, no worries.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So
there's your other one. People, we can see your other one.
You can see my other. Okay.
Can you figure that out now, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I just put mine here.
Things facing forward though. But no, he's putting it on this side. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, on this side. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's connected to the little angled piece.
We got it.
All right, awesome. So I'm gonna go back to my screen. And I'm just gonna delete everything that I have here.
Cheers, all right.
And I'm gonna bring out a new on start block. So on start, that's all I have right now. So the touch sensor, with the touch sensor, when it gets hit or pressed, it does something. So if we go into sensors, which is our second block here, the one that's purple, we can see we have a couple different blocks. So the first set of blocks are with touch sensor. So it says touch sensor, and then it gives us 3 different blocks. So we have 3 different things that we can do with the touch sensor, or 3 different options. I'm just gonna take out the first one, the one that says on touch, and it has the number. So I'm gonna take that one out. You know what, actually, I'm gonna delete that block that I just brought out, and we're actually gonna use the second block. So I'm gonna use the one that says pause until touch. So this second one. And I'm gonna drag that out and put it under the on start block. All right, so what this is saying is it's gonna start and it's gonna not do anything until our touch sensor is pressed. And I forgot to mention this, but make sure you guys use your cable and plug your touch sensor in and plug it into port 1. So that's gonna be on the front, or else nothing will happen.
So we try to create an obstacle avoidance program for it.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do after this, but I just wanted you guys to first see what it does. But yeah, what we're gonna use it for is when it like hits a wall or something and presses against the wall, it'll like move backward.
Run into the wall.
All right, so right here I have my on start block and I have my pause until port 1 or the touch sensor is pressed. So it's not going to do anything until this is pressed. So we can put something after this. So let's put something from the motors tab. So we just messed around with that. So I'm going to go into motor and I'm going to take out the steer motor. So the 4th option. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put it under what we have here. And so I'll press the plus button as well, and I'll put it on for just 1 rotation. All right. So if you guys have this, try to download it and see what it does. So what it should do is it'll start, the program will start, and until you press the touch sensor, it won't do anything. But when you press it, the robot should move 1 rotation forward. And let me know if that worked for you guys.
It's pretty cool. It shows it now. Oh, where's this? Slow.
All right, did it work?
one?
Sorry.
Press. I'm supposed to press this one. Okay.
Aid,
Yep.
when we pressed the touch sensor, it just went forward for once.
Yeah, so that's what it's supposed to do. So in my program, it says it shouldn't do anything until it's pressed. And so when it's pressed, it should only move forward for one rotation. So yeah, yours is working if it didn't move until you pressed it. Yeah, so that's what the touch sensor is there for. So it's there to do something until you press it. So, like I believe Logan said, we can make a program to have the robot not bump into walls. So if you have a wall beside you, it'd be a good idea to put the robot in front of the wall, kind of like I have. And we're gonna make a program so when the robot moves forward, it'll keep on going until it hits the wall. And when it hits the wall, the touch sensor will be pressed and then it can move backwards.
Can I use the infrared sensor for this?
Yep.
I have the touch sensor, but I already did it with the touch, so it was more interesting if I use the infrared.
Yeah, so the infrared is another way you can do it to see how far away you want it to move backward. So we're gonna use the touch sensor. So I'm just gonna take everything that I have in here and I'm just gonna delete all of that.
Delete all of it.
So I'll just have my on start block. All right. So we'll try first using some logic. So under in this block, the one that says logic, we're gonna click on that. And logic is basically just it's comparing things. It sees if something is true or false. And so I'll kind of show you what that means. All right, so I'm going to take out the second block. So the one that says if true, then, and then it has the else as well. So this second block. And I'm actually going to delete my on start block. We're not going to use the on start. We're going to use the forever block. So I'm going to go into loops and I'm going to pick the first one, the one that says forever. And now I have a forever block and an if statement or an if block. So now I'll put my if block into the forever and mine looks like this. All right. So do you guys have this?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go back into sensor, so the second tab, and I'll take this third block. So the one that says touch one and is pressed. So I'm just going to take this one out. And I'm going to put it into our if right here.
You can say yes.
All right, so right now this says if this touch sensor is pressed, then it's going to do something. If it's not pressed, that's what this else means. It'll do something else. So what we could say is if this touch sensor is pressed, then we do nothing. So let's make it first stop at the wall. So else we want it to move forward. Let's try to make it move forward. So we're going to go into motors and I'm going to take the fourth option, our steer motor block.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Looks like
Yep.
Yes, Kema.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
My code won't work.
All right, is your robot connected?
Yes.
Okay, so were you able to put the program that you downloaded into the EV3 drive? All right, and it's not running? All right, so is your EV3, is it just a blank screen right now when you put the program in?
Yeah.
All right, so if your EV3 is showing a blank screen, that means your program is running. So which program are you playing? Is it the one with the touch sensor? All right, so try pressing the touch sensor. So I don't think you activated yours, and then it should move.
Ports where you connected the touch sensor may be different, so check with your program. It's moving now.
Yeah. It still doesn't work.
Sorry?
Still doesn't work.
It still didn't run?
Let me double check and then
Did your program work? So what did your robot do?
Well, I pressed the.
Let's try.
It just stayed there.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear you.
When I touched the touch sensor,
Yeah.
I just stood there.
It didn't move? So which program did you play?
The touch sensor.
Okay. So it didn't do anything when you pressed the touch sensor. Okay, is it this what I have on the screen now? Because that's not going to do anything yet.
Press.
It is.
Okay, yeah. So that was the program that I had earlier. So we haven't finished doing this one yet. Okay. Coach K, I think you're muted.
Kevin, we didn't finish the program. We didn't still add what it's supposed to do when we press it. Okay, so wait for it. Wait to complete the program, then it should work.
All right. So does everybody have their program like this yet?
Yes.
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 Okay, good.
All right. So let's try just running this and see if anything happens.
Make a time.
It just went straight and hit the wall and never went backwards.
All right. So it just kept on going forward?
Without even touching it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, okay, sorry. That's my bad. So we put it in the forever block. It should be in the on start block. All right, so I'll share my screen again.
What did it do for you, Logan? Are you doing the similar programming or
Okay, I already did that program, so now I'm making one with ultrasound and infrared that will do different things if it detects on different sides. Well, it's harder than it sounds.
okay, working on it and show it to us at the end of
No, that was just, yeah, no, that was just me forgetting to put myself. Yeah, no, totally. Makes sense.
Okay. Did you get it?
It's still going straight.
Without
Still
even
going
pressing.
straight. All right. You know what?
Without even pressing
Let's try
it.
something different. So I'm
It's
just
on
gonna
start.
delete all of this. We'll take that away. We'll try something different. All right, so I'll go back into loop and I'll bring out the on start. And I'll go into sensor. So let's try the on touch. So let's try this first one. And I don't think this one actually needs a loop.
The on touch is a loop itself.
Yeah. So it won't do anything until this is touched.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. All right, so we can let's go into motors and we can put the steer motor in here. All right, so now it should do the same thing that it did before. So when we press the touch sensor, if you guys download this, when we press the touch sensor, it should turn on.
Do you want us to get rid of the on start? Just keep it in the untouched? Does it matter?
You can keep it in there. It shouldn't change anything.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
Next Thursday at 12.
Just wait.
Okay, we're gonna these sides are really low. And then we use this to make the small circle, okay? Cut out the small circle. Make another color. Okay, we'll check the color you're going to do.
Show us how it works.
Just a little bit now.
We're almost have only 5 more minutes for the class. So let's discuss our plans for next session.
Okay.
Let us know if the touch sensor is working. Kevin, Sid, I'm waiting to hear from you. Kevin got it? Working? Yes. And Sid is working on it.
Right?
Well, can I let Logan explain what he has built so far?
Okay,
I can't really, you kind of.
Can you press it?
Did it work, Sid?
I'm sorry?
Did it work?
We pressed the sensor and it went straight.
Awesome.
All right, yeah, so.
So
Yeah.
this is the one which we will be using
If it hits the wall, shouldn't that be equivalent to pressing the sensor again? But I guess it wouldn't stop it.
No, only once it needs.
Okay, so on the trigger of the sensor, the motors were moving. So that's good. With this, we can use it as a controller for our gaming.